name is Adrian Nantchev, and this channel is all about helping you become a remarkable entrepreneur. So click on the subscribe button below and press the bell notification right next to it for the latest uploads. Now, advanced keyword research. Using things like Ask the Public and Moz and other platforms like that to find keywords is all fine and nothing wrong with that. They work, they're good. But you see, Google is a bit more complicated than just keywords. And there's one or two ideas that you can use to get a bit more consistently found, or get a bit more consistent SEO, or capture and control certain keywords and phrases. There's about 5 or so interesting little ways of getting a distinct advantage. The first one is what's called branded keywords. These are keywords that you want to be consistently associated with, and whenever someone searches into the search engine, you want the chance of you being discovered through that search query, the chance increase. So for example, on a lot of content I've got things like my name, Adrian Nantchev, or I've also got things like Become Remarkable podcast, or just Nantchev in general, things like that. Because that way, if I assign that to every single video on blog, whenever someone searches for those phrases, the chances of me appearing increases so much more, and it's just a distinctive way of being seen and all the rest. Other one is commercial investigation. So a lot of people will have heard about something and want to buy it, but don't know where from. So for example, I had a business that I tried to get off the ground a few months ago to do with hemp. So I was using a lot of phrases like hemp, best hemp shoes, hemp store UK, cheap hemp clothing, cheap hemp shoes, things like that. These are phrases that people are searching for because they want to buy something, and if you're not being found when they're searching for this, then you're missing out. The third one is information based. So they're not, you're ready to buy, well they kind of are, but they're not quite. They want to know more about the product and its features and benefits and what it's all about. So for example, in the hemp business, I would have targeted and created content around what's the difference between hemp and cotton, how legal is hemp, or why hemp is better than cotton, or vice versa, or things like that. And I'm creating content around these key phrases as well, because it's conversations I can have with the audience. So that's information based, because they're searching for information and they're curious. They want to know more about it, and they want to know what is it, why, what's so important about it. And the other one is transaction-based keywords. So these are the ones where people want to buy something specific. So buy hemp clothing, buy hemp shoes, things like that. They're looking straight to purchase something. They might go straight to Amazon in this case, but at the very least they want to find some place to buy it. And they're going to say, in the keyword phrase, it's going to be like buy. The main difference between transaction and commercial investigation is that commercial is more curious, and transaction is more like, okay, I know what I want, I know what it's all about, I know X, Y, and Z, where can I buy it? I don't know where to buy it from. Let's go, let's have a quick search, let's see what there is. And the last one, which is interesting, what's called search intent. Now, over the past few years, Google have started to release, or started to implement what's called search rank 0. You got things like searching being the first result and second result on page 1, but there's another one called search rank 0, which is if you type a phrase in, for example, if you go into Google right now and type something in like a word like happy and definition, then straight away you will get the word happy, noun, how to pronounce it, definition, and also if you click expand, you'll see something like when was it used more, like last year or 100 years ago, or things like that. But if you type definition in onto phrases, you will get the answer. Similarly, if you type an equation into Google, like 2 plus 2, it'll tell you the answer right there, search rank 0. Even before the first actual ranking results appears, the information will be right there. Like in my book, I did a quick search for Gini coefficient definition as I was doing a bit of research on economics, and the definition appeared right there. And paradoxically, they've talked about how even if your information does appear on search rank 0, because it's aggregated from the content, that does not decrease your click-through rate onto the first rank. I think it's because people that want to know more will do it, Otherwise, people will just look at the result and that's it, be done with it. So search rank 0 and user intent. Phrases like, well, actually, here's a story. In the 1990s, I watched a documentary, a claymation show, like Wallace and Gromit kind of thing, but it was this like caveman family thing, and I wanted to search for it in like 2010 because it appeared in my head randomly once. So I searched for something like caveman claymation show from the 1990s, and the first result was the GOG's Wikipedia page. It was the actual show, and their Wikipedia page was the #1 result. So it can kind of like read your mind, what you're searching for. Like, I recently typed into Google Pierce Brosnan film where he steals a painting, and it's like, oh wow, there's this, I forgot what it's called now, but there's this film that IMDb search result for the film appeared #1 result, and it's like, wow, very smart. And on the right hand side as well, there was the aggregated information. So you could use, for example, in the hemp thing, I would have used phrases like illegal plant that can be made into stuff, or that legal version of cannabis, for example, and phrases like that where it's like, I'm describing what I want because I don't know what it's called, so I'm describing it. The guy that made the iPhones, for example, or the Prime Minister of the UK during Second World War, or let's see what we've got here. Governor of California that was in the movies. Things like that, you know. So when you search phrases like that, these like descriptive phrases, the people are going to turn up. The research results are going to appear. So you need to accommodate for that and anticipate that Google is tracking all the information and data on the pages and the search ranks, and they're aggregating it. Now you're even starting to see like similar search results. Questions. If you type something in, you're going to see different questions that could be relating to what you typed in. You click the drop down and it tells you. All they do is they aggregate the information from another website and they put it in like search result 0.5 or 0.6 and 0.7, where here's the main there's the aggregated information, and here's like this little box, different questions, frequently asked questions, and you drop down, you click and drop down, and then you start seeing the first results. So you need to be aware of that. You need to be aware of that. Search intent, very interesting little thing. But aside from that, the question of the day is, how are you defining and deciding what keywords to use in your content? How are you going about doing it? Comment below, very curious. In the meantime, however, click on the subscribe button below and press the bell notification right next to it for the latest uploads. How cool is that?